ICT පාවිච්චි කරන විදිය භාවිතා කරන විදිය ගැන අපි පොඩි දැනීමක් අපි පොඩි දැනුවත් කිරීමක් අපි කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඉතින් ජපානයේ සිටින මේ සාර්ථක කියන්නේ ශ්‍රී ලාංකික වෘත්තිකයෙක් මේ බුද්ධිමත්ව විෂය ශාස්ත්‍රයන් තෝරා ගැනීම වැදගත්කම ගැන නැත්නම් ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ඇති වාසි පිළිබඳව සැබෑ ජීවිතයේ අත්දැකීම් හුවමාරු කරගන්නයි යන්නේ. එවැනි අවස්ථාවකදී අපි ඊ타මත්ම ආදරෙන් ආරාධනා කරනවා මේ ඇඩම් ඉනෝවේෂන් ආයතනයේ ජපානයේ ඇඩම් ඉනෝවේෂන් ආයතනයේ CEO කෞශල් වවුල්ගල මහත්මයාට එතුමාගේ මේ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එක අපිත් එක්ක ෂෙයා කරගන්න කියලා අපි ඊ타මත්ම ආදරෙන් ආරාධනා කරනවා. ඔබතුමාට වවුල්ගල මහත්මයා.
Okay, thank you Dilshan. මම පොඩි ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකක් ක්ලාස් එකක ඔයගොල්ලොන්ට එක්ක කතා කරන්න මම හිතනවා ඒක මම ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් කරන එක හොඳයි කියලා. ඒක නිසා මම ඇත්තටම ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් ලෙක්චර් එක කරන්නේ. ඒ වුණාට මම මේ අතරින් පතර සිංහල මේ පාවිච්චි කරනවා. මට ඇත්තටම මගේ ටොපික් එක තමයි මම කතා කරන්නේ why should I consider an IT career and why Japan. Okay, so very good evening to all of you. My name is Kaushal and I am the CEO of a company called Adam Innovations Company. So Adam Innovation is a digital transformation company. I will explain what is digital transformation. I think today we talk a lot about ICT or IT. I think IT is actually in Japan and most of the other countries, IT is kind of an old term that we use. But today we talk about digital more than IT. So I will explain why it is that, and then I will also explain about why digital technology is important. And also I think Dr. Sandrigama explain about this IT or ICT is actually used by many industries today, including healthcare, agriculture, manufacturing. So whatever the field that you are going to choose, my advice also use IT, use digital technologies and learn about them. So so therefore I'm going to explain my personal experience, what is going on in Japan, and then why you need to choose Japan for your IT career. Okay, thank you so much. So first of all, about our company, what we do is we are a digital transformation company. Digital transformation means we help many Japanese companies to transform their business into digital. It doesn't matter what is the area that they're in. It can be agriculture, it can be healthcare, it can be manufacturing, it can be logistics, transportation. So every industry today is actually undergoing a huge digital transformation. So every company need to embrace digital technologies, because with digital technologies you can do much better and you can provide more better customer experience, and then you can get more scalability to expand your business, and also you can understand your customer behavior, and then you can provide more focused service to them. So ඒ කියන්නේ digital කියන දැන් අපි ඇත්තටම ICT කියලා අපි ලංකාවේ කතා කරාට ICT කියන එක ඇවිල්ලා අපි third industrial revolution එකේ වචනයක්. අපි දැන් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි කතා කරන්නේ digital කියන එක. මම පොඩ්ඩක් ඒක explain කරන්නම් ඔයගලන්ට ඉස්සරහට මොකද්ද මේ digital සහ ICT කියන එක වෙනස කියලා. ඒ වුණාට digital එකේ base එක ඇත්තටම අපි ගන්න ICT වලින්. ඒක නිසා ගොඩක් තාමත් අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ IT කියලා. ඒකේ වරදක් නැහැ. ඒ වුණාට ඔයගොල්ලෝ digital කියන දේ පොඩ්ඩක් තේරුම් ගත්තා නම් හොඳයි කියන එක මම ඇත්තටම මුලින්ම කියන්න කැමතියි. එතකොට අපේ කම්පැනි එක මම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කිව්වා digital transformation company එකක් කියලා. අපේ කම්පැනි එක ඇත්තටම මුලින්ම strategy consulting company එකක් විදිහට පටන් අරගෙන Japanese companies වලට help කරා global expand කරන්න. ඒ අතරතුර අපි හිතුවා මේ digital technologies කියන එක තමයි ඉස්සරහට ගොඩක් මේ important කියලා. ඒක නිසා අපි ඇත්තටම global IT park කියන IT park එක පටන් ගත්තා. So we started Global IT Park in 2016, mainly inviting foreign IT companies to come to Japan and then work with Japanese companies. So we invited Sri Lankan companies, Indian companies, and today we have 12 IT companies working and doing digital projects by hand in hand with Japanese companies. So this is the inauguration of the Global IT Park. So let me start the topic, and before that, I want to explain about little bit about this industrial revolutions. Today we talk about we are in the fourth industrial revolution, and before talking about fourth industrial revolution, let me explain little bit about what are the three industrial revolution that we passed in our history. මම කතා කරන්න යන්නේ මේ ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රියල් රෙවොලූෂන්ස් ගැන. අපි ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රියල් රෙවොලූෂන්ස් තුනක් පහු කරලා දැන් අපි හතරවෙනි ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රියල් රෙවොලූෂන් එකේ ඉන්නේ. මම හිතන්නේ ඒක ඔයගොල්ලෝ මුලින්ම තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉස්සරහට මොකද්ද කරන්න කියන එක ඩිසයිඩ් කරන්න. මොකද ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් O level කරලා A level කරන්න ඉන්න දරුවෝ විදිහට ලෝකේ ලොකු වෙනසක් වෙනවා මේ දවස්වල. තව අවුරුදු වැඩි කාලයක් යන්නේ තව අවුරුදු 2-3කින් ඔයගලන්ට දකින්න පුළුවන් වෙයි සෑහෙන ලොකු changes ගොඩක් වෙනවා ලෝකේ. මම ඒ ගැන පොඩි explanation එකක් කරන්න කැමතියි මුලින්ම මේ industrial revolution කියන මේ theme එක use කරලා. So let me explain about the industrial revolution. The one that was started in Britain in 1784. Mainly in the first industrial revolution, as you may know, the main point was actually the mechanical engineering, steam power engine, and then this is where the mechanical engineering started, and then that actually moved to US, and then the electrical power and the mass production was introduced. People like Henry Ford were one of the key initiator of this second industrial revolution, and this is where this the mass production appear ලංකාවේ කියන්නේ ශ්‍රම විභජනය කියලා. අපි ඔක්කොම එක්කෙනෙක් කරන්නේ නැතුව කොටස් දැන් අපේ ගාමන්ට් ෆැක්ටරි එකකට ගියොත් එහෙම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙනවා ස්ටාර්ටින් පොයින්ට් එකේ ඉඳන් එන්ඩ් පොයින්ට් එකට කොටස් විදිහට කඩලා ශ්‍රම විභජනය කළා තමයි කරන්නේ. So that was the second industrial revolution part, and then from there we move into the third industrial revolution. This is where the electronics and information technology started, IT. So in third industrial revolution, especially Japan became one of the key countries in this transformation. This is where the Japanese bubble economy started. Companies like Sony, Panasonic, Canon, Sharp, so many companies actually became the key key icons in the world. But if you talk today, those names are not much heard, and today we talk about totally different companies. For example, like Uber, Tesla, those kind of companies, Facebook, Apple, Google, and those are the companies that mainly drives the fourth industrial revolution. Okay, so let me explain about what is fourth industrial revolution, because this is very key point that you need to understand if you want to really think about your future career. Now, as I told you, digital technologies basically changed the game, and it basically changed every industry. So මේ digital fourth industrial revolution එකට අපි කියනවා digital revolution එකක් කියලා. මේ digital revolution එකේ තියෙන විශේෂත්වය තමයි මේ ඒක ඇවිල්ලා මේ හැම technology එකක් එක්කම මේ combine වෙනවා. It's a fusion of technologies. එතකොට digital technology එකයි physical technology එකයි biological technologies එකතු වෙනවා. We call is a kind of merging, converging of technologies. එතකොට මේක තමයි මේකේ තියෙන ගොඩක්ම වැදගත්කම. ඉතින් අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා ડોක්ටර් සඳරිගම කිව්වා වගේ ඉස්සරහට ડોක්ටර්ස් ලගේ ජොබ් එක වෙන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ patients ලගේ මේ data බලලා මේ කියන්නේ patients ලගේ දේවල් හොයලා මේව කරන එක නෙමෙයි. ඊට වැඩි ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ root cause කොහොමද identify කරගන්නේ කියලා data analytics වගේ models වලින්. ඉතින් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ડોක්ටර් කෙනෙක් වුණත් ඉස්සරහට data ගැන අවබෝධයක් නැත්නම් Tamanට ඉස්සරහට තමන්ගේ කැරියර් එක කරගන්න අමාරුයි. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ තමයි ටීචර් කෙනෙකුට උනත් ඉස්සරහට ෆාම කෙනෙකුට උනත් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි ඩිජිටල් ටෙක්නොලොජිස් කියනවා සෑහෙන පාවිච්චි කරනවා. ඒක නිසා මොන ෆීල්ඩ් එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ තෝරගත්තත් ඉස්සරහට මගේ ඇඩ්වයිස් එකත් ඇත්තටම ඔයගොල්ලෝ IT පිළිබඳ නැත්නම් ඩිජිටල් ටෙක්නොලොජිස් පිළිබඳ ගොඩක් අවබෝධයක් තියාගන්න. මම මේක එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන්න මම ඇත්තටම මගේ පෞද්ගලික එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එක සහ මේ ජපානයේ මොනවද වෙන්නේ කියන එක ගැන මෙතනින් එහාට කතා කරන්න කැමතියි. So let me talk about my personal experience in Japan, and then why we focus on more on the digital technologies. I will explain from here on. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about what is digital. Now we talk about ICT, but ICT and digital are a little bit different. Basically, digital comes from in 4 areas. We call SMAC technologies. Okay, SMAC. So basically, SMAC stands for social, mobile, analytics, and cloud. These are the 4 key the components of a digital technology. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා මේ social media කියන එක ලෝකේ හැම කෙනෙක්ම පාවිච්චි කරන දෙයක්. මේ social media පාවිච්චි කරන එකෙන් මේ ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් වෙන්නේ අපි ගොඩක් data may generate karna. So social media is the key component of a digital technology. And then we use mobile technologies. It's not just about mobile phones, but also many mobile devices. I don't know whether you heard about technology called IoT. IoT is mainly we use data using different mobile devices. So those kind of technologies we actually use in the future to control the factories, control many like for example many industries. And basically these social and mobile technologies generate a lot of data, and then we need to analyze those digital technology the data. And then in order for us to analyze that, we use different cloud computing technologies. So those are the 4 key technologies that you need to understand in the future. So now let me give a few examples in this area. So I want to talk about 2 industries. One is about mobile industry, and the second one is about automotive industry. Why I use these 2 industries? Because I think this will give you a very good idea about how these industries transform using digital technologies. Okay, so now this is the kind of a advertisement. This is an advertisement published in the social in media in 2006. I came to Japan in 2005. Before that, I was in the US, and I was mostly doing about research about mobile internet. And that time, Japan had the most advanced mobile technology in the world. And Japan used the data for the more than any other country in the world. And also Korea was quite advanced in using mobile mobile technologies, especially mobile internet. So I actually came to Japan to learn about it. And so in 2006, Japan had the most advanced mobile internet platform in the world. Not only that, Japan also had the highest number of mobile device manufacturers. But what happened was, the important point what I want to mention is Japanese companies focus more on the hardware. Now, here you can see the different device manufacturers. They manufacture many different kinds of devices, and they focus more on the hardware. Okay, so make මට කියන්න ඕන වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, දැන් Japan ගොඩක් advanced mobile technologies තිබ්බට ගොඩක් Japanese companies focus කරේ මේ hardware පැත්තට. hardware කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මෙතන උනත් පේනවා ඇති. ගොඩක් companies කියන්නේ මෙතන companies 14ක් 15ක් විතර, they develop mobile devices, but they did not think much about the software side. So what happened was, in 2007, I don't know, you can remember. So this single phone basically killed the entire mobile industry in Japan. So this was a big shock for me because I came to Japan in 2005 as a main purpose to learn mobile technologies, Japanese mobile technologies. But after coming to Japan within 2 years, the Japanese mobile industry got devastated. So it was big shock for me. And this is the kind of a starting point of this digital revolution, because this person called Steve Jobs saw the future of mobile technology is not about the hardware, it is about software. Now, this basically illustrates that. Now, in the previous example, you can see here. So Japanese companies focus more on the what we call hardware differentiation. Okay. So here you can see that many different size, different colors, different types of hardware devices. But this person saw that the future is not about the hardware. So he developed just one single phone, and then he built the platform and then allow people to build applications on the top of that. So this is the huge, this changed the hugely about, how we use mobile phones. Okay. Now, this is what we call the starting point of digital, innovation. Now, the important point that you need to understand is that this is not only happening in mobile industry. This happen in every industry. පොඩි සමර එකක් කිව්වොත් සිංහලෙන් Japanese companies කොච්චර mobile technology advance වුණත් ඒගොල්ලෝ හිතුවේ නැහැ මේ Japanese කියන්නේ mobile industry එක change වෙයි කියලා hardware වලින් ඉඳන් software වලට. ඉතින් ඒක ඇත්තටම කරේ මේ Apple කියන ආයතනයේ මේ CEO Steve Jobs එයාගේ iPhone එකෙන් එයා එක ෆෝන් එකක් හදලා ඒ එක ෆෝන් එකෙන් එයාට පුළුවන් වුණා මුළු ජපානයේම තියෙන මොබයිල් ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එක නැති කරලා දාන්න. ඒතර මේක මට ලොකු ෂොක් එකක් වුණා මොකද මම ජපානට පර්පස් එක ඒක නිසා. ඉතින් මේ එතනින් ඉඳන් මම ගොඩක් ඇත්තටම රිසර්ච් කරා මම ගොඩක් මේවා කරා මොකද ඒකට හේතුව කියලා. ඉතින් එතනදී මට හිතුණ දෙයක් තමයි අපි ඇත්තටම හිතන්න ඕනේ මේ ඩිජිටල් ටෙක්නොලොජිස් ඒ කියන්නේ අපි කියමු software driven products services basically transform in global economy. Okay, so let me give you one more example based on the automotive industry. Now, automotive industry is Japan's #1 industry. Japan is known for automotive cars. Companies like Toyota, Honda, Nissan. So most of the the big automotive names are from Japan. But what the most important thing that you need to understand is this industry also having very similar change to what basically happened in the mobile industry. ඒ කියන්නේ ඉස්සරහට දැන් මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පේනවා ඇති මේ ඇවිල්ලා මේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්න මේ Toyota Prius car එක මම මේක එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන්නම් කොහොමද මේ ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රි එක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ කියලා. Then ඔගොල්ලෝ ගත්තොත් එහෙම මේ car එකේ cost එක, I mean the cost of the production of this car, if you look at, so basically we say there are two types, hardware and software. Now if you look at the cost of the car, so it basically about 30% about software, and then 70% is basically from hardware. Now what happens is within another year, okay, by 2020, this situation totally going to change, and the software cost of a production of car is going to increase more than double. Now why it is going to happen? Because next year the autonomous driving, or we call driverless cars, are going to come. Now with driverless cars, more than the hardware, software is going to be more dominant. So the question here is, now Japan has very big, very strong car companies, but they are now having a huge struggle, or they are having a lot of you know, they are fighting, or they are thinking about how they are going to transform. Why? Because now in this transformation from hardware to software, the question is, many new companies are going to, you know, come into this market. Now, companies like Apple, companies like Google, Tesla already in the game, and Uber. So all these companies are they are very strong in software. Okay, so the what I want to tell you is now the since automotive industry is the #1 industry in Japan, Japanese companies now open doors for many, you know, strong IT the engineers to, you know, come to Japan and work with Japanese companies. So this is a huge opportunity that you can see the going on in Japan compared to any other part in the world. So this is something I want to I want you to, you know, understand. So if you want to really focus on the industry in IT, I think choosing Japan has a huge advantage. But of course, you know, Japan is not easy country compared to like US, Australia, and UK and all, because those countries are English speaking countries. But if you want to, you know, get a good job, or you want to build a career in Japan, you need certain amount of Japanese knowledge. I think LNBT has identified that. I'm very happy to say that they come up with a, you know, program that teaches IT plus Japanese. I think that is quite good. You know, the initiative, I would say. So now what I want to explain a little bit about this one. Now, as I told you, this digital transformation in autonomous industry is actually changing the whole game. Okay, now this is a kind of a, you know, you might be wondering why the steering wheel of this car is in the center, because ඔයගලන්ට හිතනවා ඇති ඇයි මේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කාර් එකක ස්ටීරින්ග් වීල් එක තියෙන ඩ්‍රයිවර් ගේ පැත්තේ දැන් මේකේ ස්ටීරින්ග් වීල් එක තියෙන සෙන්ටර් එකේ. මේකට හේතුව තමයි මොකද ඉස්සරහට ඔයගලන්ට වාහනයක මේ යනකොට you don't need to worry about driving. Okay, because the car itself know how to, you know, drive on the road. So you will become a kind of a rider only. Now the problem is basically it create a totally a new market. Okay, now just imagine, now earlier people buy cars. I know you know, Sri Lankans are very fond of, you know, cars. Then Lankawa කියන්නේ ජපානයේ මේ cars import කරන countries වල in one of the top countries, because Sri Lankans love cars. Now why they love cars? Because they love driving, right? So but just imagine you you buy a car that you don't need to drive. So how many of you think that you want to own a car? Okay, so that means in the future the car purchasing cars are going to reduce. Now according to Toyota, they predicted that next 10 years the car demand in the world will reduce by 50%. Okay, so therefore being the leader in the industry, Toyota is thinking whether they should continue their business or not. Okay, Toyota එකට තියෙන ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි තව අවුරුදු 10කින් ලෝකේ කාර් යූසේජ් එක 150කින් අඩු වෙනවා. ඇයි ඔටෝනොමස් වෙහිකල් එකක් වෙනකොට අපිට ඩ්‍රයිව් කරන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. එතකොට අපිට කාර් එකක් තියාගන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. අපිට Uber වගේ එකකින් අපිට ඒ සර්විස් එක ගන්න පුළුවන් හොඳට. එතකොට දැන් ලෝකේ තියෙන ප්‍රධාන කාර් මැනුෆැක්චරර් කෙනෙක්, one of the leading car companies නේ Toyota. එතකොට දෙගොල්ලන්ගේ බිස්නස් එකට මොකද වෙන්නේ? So that is why now Toyota is thinking of changing their business model. So I want to give you a little bit of the explanation about that. Now Toyota announced that the company is actually changing their business model. So the president publicly announced that the reforming our company to become a mobility company. So far Toyota being a kind of a car manufacturer, but in the future Toyota is no more a car manufacturer. Instead they are going to be a mobility company. Likewise, now since the Toyota is the largest company in Japan, since they are having this kind of huge move, you can see that many other companies are actually going into the same direction. Okay, So this is so I think I want to share more things, but I think my time is over. So let me try to conclude with the last point. And I want to say is that let me conclude with that. If you look at the world economy, Japan is the third largest economy in the world. Okay, and it's a 5 trillion economy. And also in the IT market or the ICT market, they are the fourth largest. But the thing is, compared to other countries, for example, US, UK, and other countries, so Japan is, having a huge, transformation in the, into digital. So therefore, if you want to, seriously, think about IT career or the digital career, so I think it's wise for you to think about, Japan as a, country to come. So there are a lot of opportunities for IT engineers. So with that, I want to end my lecture. So basically, what I want to tell you is, if you want to choose your career, think about these 5 key questions. Ask yourself, what are my interests? What are my skills? And what are my talents and strengths? And what are my personality and values? So with that, I would like to end my session. So with this point, keeping this point to you. So basically, you need to understand this is the code given by CEO of Microsoft. So he's saying that every business will become software business, and they build application, use advanced analytics, and provide SaaS services. So basically, what he says is that every company is transforming into digital. So this is very important point that you need to understand. So with that, I would like to end my lecture. Thank you.